So the next objective we're going to look at is collision detection. Now we've already seen collision detection in past assignments, but basically it's how do we know when two things touch in the game. So we know that whenever we draw something in the game, maybe that's a person, and when we draw something in that game we have to specify a rectangle. That rectangle is what we call our bounding box. So if you're trying to collide this and maybe like a ball or something like that, that ball also has a bounding box. Basically what we're trying to say is, does the first box collide with the second box? That is called box to box collision. There's also circle to circle collision, there's box to circle collision, there's line collision, there is dot to box collision, all these different forms of collisions that exist out there. Now there's also other ones that involve pixel perfect collision. So basically a collision that looked like this, where the second box is inside here but not touching the player, would not count. Yes, it is touching the big box, but it's not actually touching the player. So pixel perfect collision actually checks this. Now you'd have to do some investigation how to fix that, how to figure that out, but it is possible. Now these are different forms of collision detection, so if you're going to do this objective, you got to decide which ones make sense for you. One option is not enough to be a valid significant objective. You need at least two. So the next one we're going to look at is something called an inventory management system. And just like the resource management system, that word management is there, which means the user needs to be making choices. At some point they need to choose what to keep and what to throw away. So there's been a lot of different variations on the idea of an inventory management system over the years. In a game like Skyrim, classic RPG at this point, open world RPG, very big, there's literally thousands of different types of items you can collect in that game. And what they've done is basically they've applied a weight to every single item. And the player's strength allows them to hold a certain amount of weight. So the stronger they are, the more weight they can hold, which then implies they can hold more items. So for example, you might pick up let's say a small sword, and that sword may have a weight of 3 pounds or 3 units, whatever the weight is, doesn't really make a difference. But then they also might pick up an axe, and the axe might have a weight of 5 units, and maybe the strength allows them to hold a total of 100 units. So they still have a long ways to go, but eventually they're going to fill up that 100, and they're going to find a new item on the ground, and that item is going to be maybe very valuable, and they're going to have to make a decision. Should I throw something away? Should I leave that there? Maybe I keep it because I can sell it because it has a monetary value, right? So it's forcing the user to make choices. There's other games that do different ways of inventory management systems. One of the classic ones out there is the original Resident Evil games, which used a grid-based system. So you started the game, and when you hit the pause button, it showed you your inventory. Your inventory looked something like this. So it was a grid, and in that grid you could put different items. So you might have like a plant, a herb, whatever you want to call it. And that which is used for healing. In the next one you might have a gun, and in the next one you might have a bigger gun like a sniper that takes up 2 different slots, right? So maybe you have a grenade over here, maybe a couple grenades, right? And maybe you have another grenade here, maybe you have a gun over here. But then you walk around, and here let's put another gun right there. Maybe you walk around and you find a rocket launcher, and the rocket launcher takes up 3 slots. Somehow you got to be able to fit that in there so you could actually hold it. Well, in that game what you could do is you could move things around to different boxes. So maybe I can move that gun over there, which frees up 3 slots there. Alternatively, maybe I rotate the sniper rifle so it's in a shape like this, and then I move my grenade over to another slot there. Then I could fit the rocket launcher up in this slot, in those 3 slots. Right? So again, not only am I making choices in terms of how much I can hold or what I can hold, but they've actually turned the idea of the inventory management system itself into a puzzle game, which is a very intriguing aspect. So that's 3 objectives so far. In the next module, we'll go into a few more.